Last time on Square Roots, a new kid comes to town and is swept up in a complicated game of make-believe with some LARPing locals. He also beats up a security guard, several methamphetamine manufacturers, and learns to fart. I'm told that eventually this game will include humorous situations.
Everyone, and welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I'm joined by Matthew Van Sant.
Hello, my name is Matthew Van Sant.
John,
Every week.
John,
You know what?
I don't know what to call John.
I
What
think
should I
from
call
now
John?
on, John and I have to agree to not cut out Jim's picking the name. Because
Yeah,
we
you
make him
shouldn't.
sound so good every week. Just like right off the top of his head, when in reality, it's a slow,
It
torturous
takes me
process.
a minute. It takes me a minute. You gotta find a good one. John Jimbo Brandon. Johnny Jimbo Brandon.
Hello, I'm Mr. Bean, and I don't like woke moralists.
And Vanessa.
I'm Vanessa, and I'm delighted to be joined by Rowan Atkinson. Apparently, I read an article about celebrities paying to be on podcasts. I didn't realize we were one of them.
Rowan Atkinson doing a Jordan Peterson impersonation, by the way.
We decided not to cut you in on the money, so...
Oh, but I love money more than any of you.
It's true.
Is it?
Yeah, she's the one who always wants to sell out the show to get rich as many
that's
times
true.
as she can.
Not to the nootropics people, though.
That's true. I didn't think I had standards, but I found some.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I don't know about pushing drugs on the show, gang.
That's true.
My only drug
Okay.
is video games.
That's right. Speaking of video games, this is a podcast where we play and talk about your favorite RPG video games.
My
one
only drug
chunker
is
at a
lots
time.
of drugs.
Yeah, my only drugs are drugs. Thank you. And we are in episode 2 of South Park: The Stick of Truth,
Boo.
or as Vanessa knows it, her game of the year.
Yeah, game of the year. Game of the decade. Best game we've ever played on the show. Also, I didn't do the content warnings at the top of this episode, but, content warnings, South Park bullshit.
Content warning, South Park bullshit. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
content
sure.
warning, South Park. Yeah.
Racism, homophobia,
Nazis.
sexism.
Literal
Lots of
recordings of Hitler.
non-consensual penetration.
Oh, yeah.
Lots. This is like the penetration episode.
And consensual. There is consensual
didn't
penetration
mind-
as well in this.
I
there
didn't
is
mind the
consensual
anal.
penetration.
I didn't mind the anal probe stuff so much, but the haha Kenny's getting raped jokes really did not sit well with me.
We didn't really I know that those are bad, but it does give me kind of a laugh when they all think that that's what's happening. They think that Kenny being tied up and his captor jumping on the bed is what
yeah.
rape is. Yeah,
Well,
which is kind of funny.
you know what, Jim?
Anyways.
I didn't exactly take that away from it, but you're right. And I guess that is what's happening there. I mean,
Yeah.
I was not surprised that the children were not having sex when we burst into the room. So I guess I didn't really think it
That
through.
would have taken a dark turn.
It is not the film Kids.
I mean, this
Ew,
episode
kids.
takes a dark turn.
That's a movie. Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
At the end. Are we going to cover night 2, or are we just going to cover up through day 2? I think we probably should just do day 2, right?
I don't know.
There's
I
a
did
lot that
night
happens
2.
in
'Cause we
day
have
3,
night
right?
2.
Night 2's
I haven't
short.
finished it yet.
Oh, okay.
Night 2
Yeah,
is
night
short.
2 is really short. Yeah, well, let's just cover night 2. There's a lot that happens in day 3.
Okay.
If you want.
All right. Well, guys, before we get into all of day 2, who has some
Vanessa,
hot
this
gaming
feels
news
like me
to share with the
suggesting we
group?
should record on Thursday night. Nobody wants to commit, but I feel like by the end of the episode, everybody's going to be like, yeah.
Pretty glad we got that over with.
Opposite is what I'm saying, but regardless.
Gaming
news, I do.
Hot gaming
And-
news. Oh, Matt does.
A announcement trailer was released today for a Tactics Ogre remake.
Oh,
Yay!
cool. I've never played that game and don't really know what it is.
It is basically Final Fantasy Tactics, but an ogre battle game. But it's like a very similar, both gameplay-wise and not plot-wise. The plot is similar, but it's a very political plot, not like a big sweeping, whatever, Final Fantasy
Like a
plot.
Tactics.
Anyway, like a Tactics. And I did play it back when it was on the PlayStation, and I did enjoy it, but I don't think I finished it. I don't remember a ton about it, to be honest with you. It didn't have the job system, which kind of bummed me out. The job system is the real cherry on the cake that is Final Fantasy Tactics. But anyway, yeah, big announcement. I don't think they gave a release date specifically, but I'm pretty stoked. What about you?
I'm
Vanessa?
stoked. Oh,
Oh, I don't care, but I do have some hot gaming news. The 2000 Japan-only Neo Geo Pocket Color game Rockman Battle and Fighters is now available on the Switch under the name
Finally!
Mega Man Battle and Fighters.
Is that the Mega Man fighting game?
Uh-huh. But it's in Japanese, but it's on the Switch, and you can get it if you want to.
I have some gaming news.
Uh-huh.
There was an update for Sims 4 that went out this morning that added things like curved walls, body hair,
Ooh.
new desires and fears, and also the ability to commit incest.
what? Oh, there was a glitch, right? There was a glitch.
Yes, and they patched it.
Where suddenly your Sims would get hot for your family members where that normally is blocked off.
Yeah.
What I love about that is the way some people play Sims is very kind of hands-off. So that could have happened when they weren't paying attention, and then...
That's true.
Yeah, I'm a very
Wow.
hands-off Sims player. I kind of like the only thing I do is make sure that they have food and jobs.
Oh, I was wrong, by the way. I'm sorry. Let me interrupt real quick just to say that Tactics Ogre remake, November 11th of this year.
Wow.
A game coming out
11.
this year?
I'm excited to give that one a play. I know that I feel like that could be a contender for the show eventually, for sure.
Yeah, that's the like the Let Us Cling Together one, right?
Yes, Let Us Cling Together. And there's another one, I can't remember, the other one that has a weird subtitle too, but it was like a PSP game, but is also, I believe, critically acclaimed and beloved by its fan base, as like a really
Oh,
great...
that's a week after God of War. I might give that a try.
Yeah, right. You'll play God of War for 3 months, and then you'll...
I will beat God of
Then you'll
War in
decide
3
that
days,
actually
thank
you
you.
didn't like it, and you'll explain to us over and
No.
over again what's wrong with it.
John knows how quickly I play games.
Oh, it was not a question
I will
of
finish
whether...
God of War
no,
in 2
no.
days.
That's not what I said. Did I use the word finish? No.
My opinions on the PS4 God of War have not changed. So, I love that game.
Here's some
That's why I
other
expect
hot
you to
gaming
spend several months
news.
playing God of War, too.
The captaincy update is live today for Sea of Thieves. Yes, Sea of Thieves, the game that I didn't want to play because I thought I'd get into it, and then my friends would stop playing it, and they said, "Oh no, we love it,
no.
Vanessa."
I didn't say that.
Hey,
I do not commit.
I've asked you plenty of times to play Pirates, but you're out doing stuff with your friends.
I
true.
actually just deleted it the other day from my console.
Yeah, I
my
don't see
God.
myself playing it again. I just feel like there's nothing to do, really. Like, I just...
Very samey, yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't really
What?
want to do those. I
I
don't want
just
to
bought
go
a
dig
cat,
for treasure
and no one's
again.
seen my
I
cat
did it
yet.
several times. It was fun. The
John bought a
combat's not
cat.
very good.
Now you can be captain of your own ship and decorate it. So it sounds to
Well,
me
yeah,
like
that's a
there
problem,
is
too. You
something
think,
to do.
you think I'm going to come join your fucking crew? Fucking lock me up every chance you get.
Only
That
lock you up.
was pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah, also worth noting in response to Vanessa's comment about all of us quote-unquote abandoning her, every time I play with her, she locks me in the brig.
Well, technically, all of us lock you in the brig.
Technically, we
Yeah.
all have to vote
Weird how I stopped
unanimously to
playing with
lock
you.
you in the break.
Surprising. It's odd how that works.
And it was
Then
only
dance
during
around you.
very certain circumstances. And only one warranted. And we did dance around you. It was amazing.
Yeah,
you
that
did
was
leave
great.
me in there to die once. I did die in that brig. I drowned in that brig once.
Does anyone else have any hot gaming news?
I do.
Johnny.
There
Wow.
was
Not only do we have a lot, we're getting through it fast. This is great.
We are.
Yeah, there was a forthcoming update for developers for the Xbox Series X that will unlock more memory. That's right, almost 8% more memory.
Hey, I'll
For-
take that.
Developers, so if you have a Series S and you're like, I wish the graphics were a little bit better. Yeah, that's what this is for.
Me, I have a Series S.
Yeah,
That's fun.
Somebody
yeah. I
explain
think
this to my
they
friend
like
Paul.
shrank the amount saved by the system because it's got 10 gigs of memory, and it's they're gonna unlock a few more, so they've like shrank the system memory by a bit.
I
That's
think that's
good.
a
Yeah,
positive.
leave more memory
Yeah,
for
I think so,
performance.
too.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got.
Oh,
I guess it's not really hot gaming news, but my hot gaming news is that the last update for PUBG introduced 4K on the Series X,
Oh,
nice.
that's cool.
and you know what?
Finally,
It looks pretty fucking good.
that's good.
I actually have it running at 4K. I think 120 hertz or whatever. My refresh rate is.
Oh, I have some hot gaming news. Is that because I'm like a real gamer, like an actual gamer. Sony invited me to be a part of their beta for their new system update, which includes updates to I think the refresh rate for games, which is pretty boring because my TV can't support that.
Yeah, so you should
I'm
probably.
glad. Thanks for picking me, Sony.
Good job selling out to the man for nothing at all, Jim.
Although I am
Anyway,
going to
this
try
is Jim's last
the
episode.
game
Now that
folders.
he's an
I am-
official employee.
now that I'm an official gaming influencer.
Now that you're an official employee of PlayStation, we can't have you on the show. That's what it says in our bylaws.
It's a conflict
That's
of
true.
interest.
Remember how we wrote those bylaws?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny actually wrote them because he's an attorney.
Yeah. An ace attorney.
Speaking of ace attorneys, who wants to level up?
I will. I'll go first.
I was segueing into John leveling up, but sure.
Oh,
All right, sure, I'll go.
sorry, I had prosciutto.
So on Matthew's recommendation from last week, I
did
did
you do
watch
that?
the show The Bear on
Oh, yeah, good
Hulu.
job. I'm proud of you.
And it is amazing. I binged the whole thing in one night when I
That's
had
crazy.
a short bout of insomnia. And
That
it was
show ain't gonna
great.
help.
And I know. And I will say, because Matt, it was probably COVID brain that you had last week that you couldn't remember. You said Vanessa asked you why they called the show The Bear, and
I
you
just didn't want to
know.
say.
It's because it's the main character's nickname.
Yeah, it's his nickname. I just didn't want to get into it, so I said.
Okay, I was gonna say in the
did not
opening
wanna get
shot,
into it.
in the
'Cause his
opening
name is
shots of the
Gar-
series, there's a bear.
His name is Carmen, and they call him Carmy a lot. And
I hate
Carm,
that name, Carmy.
And sometimes they call him Bear, and it felt very true to life in that, like, I also have several names that I go by, so I kind of liked it.
Yeah,
but
me too.
at the same time, I
Dickweed,
also was kind of like,
Idiot. Moron.
Wow.
yeah, those are the names that Vanessa calls me, and then my friends call me nice things, like Matthew or Van, or even Daddy.
Which of your
let's
friends
see.
calls you
Calls me.
daddy? No.
Yeah. I have a couple other things. One, I did start the game Stray, which I'm really enjoying.
What?
I also started the game Stray, which I'm really
You
enjoying.
guys are not allowed to talk
Stray?
about Stray.
Stray is great, and then I've also been replaying Batman: Arkham Knight.
I've seen that.
And
Arkham
that
Knight's
game-
the one you're replaying?
Yeah, Arkham Knight.
I saw that on the what are your friends doing spy cam that you have?
What stupid shit are your friends? What bad games are your
Yeah.
friends
What
playing?
Yeah.
bad games are your friends
No,
playing?
Arkham Knight is good. It's the best of those Rocksteady Batman games for
That
show.
is
That's
100%
a
false.
crazy claim.
What a
It's not
crazy
crazy.
thing to say.
Not crazy. It's real.
I
It's
I'll
played
tell
real
you what,
Asylum.
you
I
are
played
welcome to
City.
your opinion, but sir, the critical consensus disagrees with you.
I
Does
played
it?
Night, and
Yes!
I can
Arkham
barely
Knight,
remember.
the third one where you have to drive around in that shitty Batmobile the whole time, and
I
the
like the
villain
Batmobile.
is anti-Batman.
You know what? I like the Batmobile. And he fires non-lethal rounds, thank you, and blows up unmanned drones.
Those Riddler fucking puzzles. Woof.
On my-
Asylum is the
on my
best, in my opinion.
My first playthrough of Arkham Knight, I 100%ed it. I did all of the Riddler shit. I did every side quest thing, every
embarrassing.
collectible, whatever. Did all
Riddle
of
me
it.
this, Batman. What kind of car can race on this track?
Yeah, he has a series of underground racetracks. That's really
It's
silly.
the
Riddler's
ultimate
greatest
riddle.
riddles. Go fast.
Yeah.
The greatest riddle. Go fast.
God, remember how the game stops you every 30 minutes to make the Batmobile into a little shitty fucking
Tank
tank
thing?
and then it
Yeah.
makes you fucking crawl around the levels in that thing?
pew, pew, pew,
What a piece of
pew.
shit.
All
game
the
that is.
time it does. Yeah, all the time it does.
Most
But
people,
yeah,
I
really
think,
like
prefer
this.
Arkham City, but I think Arkham Asylum is the best.
Arkham Asylum is I don't know. I like Arkham Knight. Like
It just didn't need it to become
don't
an
know.
open world. Like, not everything. It's not. I don't know. You know
Yeah.
what? I'm saying that people were really excited about it. I probably was excited at the concept. It just didn't particularly like the execution.
I just think all the militia stuff is kind of boring in Arkham Knight. Like, it doesn't really have a lot of that Batman character to
Does
it.
anybody else feel like he's not understanding what game he's talking about?
I don't
like,
think he
he's talking
understands
about
what
Arkham
game
City,
he's talking
right?
about. No, but he's been playing Arkham Knight, so I think he's just really confused.
Yeah, I saw
no,
you playing
I
Arkham City, and now you're talking about Arkham Knight.
No, I did. I replayed Arkham City a couple months ago, actually, and I liked it. But I think Arkham Knight is a little bit better.
That's insane. What, you love fighting the Firefly on a bridge? That's your thing?
Yeah, I do like the Firefly stuff
You know
where you
what?
chase
You
them in the
should play
Batmobile.
Arkham
I like it.
Origins. I bet you would think that's the very best one. You fucking dork. Who's next?
Actually, I have Arkham Origins on my PlayStation. I got it from the new PS Plus, and
Play
I
it
played
right
it,
now.
and it's not bad.
I never played.
But yeah, that's how I leveled up. John, how did you level up?
Well, I leveled up in a few ways. First, most important, I did go to Pride and I did wear the rubber wrestling singlet, and lots of people loved it. Like, I had straight people coming up to me and taking pictures with me. Got my picture taken by the official Pride photographer of the event.
You know, to be honest with you, I was not sure when you described it if it was going to be a bikini bottom or a shorts bottom, and it was a shorts bottom, and I thought it looked great.
Yeah.
I
I
also
will say those bikini bottom.
I
singlets
like
are
it.
not
Like,
fair.
I love, Jonah wears one like that. I think it looks super cute on him. But yeah, I think I'm more comfortable, especially walking around in, because that's the butcher cut is the one that ends right at your hip, basically. And then there's
Oh, really?
the traditional wrestling singlet that goes down to your knees. That's what I was wearing.
Listen, I don't want to talk about your singlet. I don't want to talk about your hat. I want to talk about your adorable knee-high socks. What a detail. So
Oh, it's like
Yeah.
your sunburn.
Oh my! Yeah, so right around I got a sunburn right around the edges of, because I put
Yeah, I
on
saw that.
sunscreen, but it didn't quite get into the under the singlet, and that's where. So it's right
Yeah,
at the
that
edges.
edge is always tough.
But I had a really good time. I ended up wearing the singlet for about 5 hours, and I drank like 4 liters of water during that time. I was so thirsty all
Wow.
the time because I was literally dripping sweat anytime I was in direct sunlight. But yeah, I changed. Like, I had a change of clothes with me, so when I didn't, I went to I watched the parade with my friend. He's just coming out, so it was his first Pride parade, and that was really fun. And then we went to a Vancouver Gamer Society thing, and I did a Smash tournament, and I wasn't last place.
Nice.
congratulations. What character did you play?
Mr. Game and Watch, or Game and Watch. Game and Watch. Get it? Get it? Did y'all get it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's great. So other things. So yeah, Pride was really fun. I had a good time. The SkyTrain kind of screwed up. Like, it was half not working on the way home, so it took me a few hours to get home. But other than that, it was a really good time. I also have been playing games. But before we talk about games, I do want to give a little nod that I watched a bunch of Taskmaster Season 7 UK version with my friend Mike.
I remember
Cool.
this because you were messaging me about it.
And
And I believe you chose season 7 because you wanted to see them be mean to Alex, and I told you that they
Yes.
were mean to him in that one.
And they sure are. I think the most uncomfortable one was Excite Alex, where he was strapped to a heart rate monitor. Actually, it was a blood pressure monitor. I don't know why they didn't give him a heart rate monitor. It seemed like a very weird choice. Like they just chose the wrong piece of equipment.
They wanted the one that looked better.
Yeah, I guess that's true. So he that was hilarious because like they all start by trying to seduce him pretty much. Did you notice that, Vanessa? There was a lot of like flirting with him, and
he just sits there not reacting at all.
Because I think that's kind of a shtick that as a comedian he's very non-emotional. At least his character is, and the same with Paul Williams, the New Zealand version.
I
they
think
just sort of are
that's,
neutral.
I don't think that he's probably actually like. Well, I don't know. I've never seen any stand-up that he does. The only other thing I've seen him do is this web game show that he does, where he's a different persona, more himself, I assume. But yeah, I think it works really well, though.
Yeah, and so that was great. I've been enjoying it, and Mike really liked Taskmaster too, so that was fun. Games I have been playing. I've been picking up my Switch again. I've been in a Switch mood lately. So I've been playing Great Ace Attorney. Been getting through. I just got through the second big mystery of that one.
Which one is that?
That's
4,
the
5?
that's the early 20th century one. It's not Phoenix Wright.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the one on your shirt.
It's not the one on my shirt.
Oh, that's Apollo Justice. That's right. Now I remember.
Well, it's got Phoenix.
Oh, you're right. Yours is the classic version.
Yeah.
And it says burgers.
Yes.
John's wearing a pink shirt with chibi versions of the Ace Attorney characters holding up a sign that says burgers.
And they're all eating hamburgers, except Phoenix Wright is crying. And that's a joke about the localization where, like, it'll show a picture of them eating Japanese food and they say that they're eating burgers, which is a long-running joke in that series.
That's funny.
That's a legitimately great series if you guys have never checked it out, Vanessa and
I've
Jim,
played an
honestly.
Ace Attorney.
I've
so
played
good.
an Ace Attorney.
It's been like 6 or 7 years, so.
Yeah,
Wow.
and there's a
When I went
gajillion of
to
them.
Disney, it was when I met Matt in person for the first time when we met at when I went to Disney World.
Oh, yeah, they're good
yeah.
That was the
flight
last time I
games.
played an Ace Attorney.
They're good for
John,
flight.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Can I get you to talk about Nope just for a second?
Oh yeah.
I did see
Yeah, I saw Nope. And we won't no spoilies. Obviously.
You know,
like
you
it?
say that, but
Yeah.
We did not spoil
admittedly,
anything in that chat, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't care a lot about this movie, so.
yeah.
I like them
awesome.
Jordan Peterson horror movies, but like I don't.
Jordan
Like it.
Peterson
Yeah, I
horror
love
movies.
Jordan Peterson's horror movies like The Woke Mob,
Place it
The
woke
Liberal Menace,
moralist.
Pinko. That one's great.
The real horror is
Deal.
cancel culture.
I know who you canceled last summer.
God, you can't make that joke because somebody will do it seriously. Post absurdism,
Especially
there's
like the
nothing
people
too
that
far.
made Airplane and a couple of the scary movies are like super hyper conservative now, so they'll probably make that.
Oh,
I know,
no.
man. That's one of the reasons why I kind of mourn the Jeff Zucker movies like Top Secret and Basketball, because he'll never make another one of those because he's a fucking right-wing
Yeah.
weirdo now.
Dude, Shatner came out the other day and asked when fucking Star Trek got so political.
I know. What a
Like,
dumbass.
you were there. Conservatism gives you brain worms. This is just what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, Nope. Nope is great. I
Nope is
think
fantastic.
it's definitely up there with Us as my favorite of his films. And I like Get Out too,
John.
but Us was
Oh, sorry.
fantastic, and I really like Nope.
I was going to recommend, I listened to a podcast this morning while I was working by the Dead Meat folks. I don't know if you listen to Dead Meat stuff.
Nope.
But they did a podcast on Nope that was like double the length of their usual podcast, which are like an hour. It's like an hour and 45 minutes. But they went into all the like thematic stuff on Nope. And there's a lot of like cool behind the scenes stuff that they talked about. It's really interesting if you want to check it out.
I love that there's a part set at a store that I used to go to a lot. That's pretty fun.
Oh yeah, Fry's.
Yeah.
You can,
Well,
that's not a spoiler. There's a Fry's Electronics in it. That's a national chain.
that's true. That's true.
I thought they shut down like Circuit City.
No,
There's
they
a
still
lot of them that
some.
have shut down. There are a few still open. There's one across the Metroplex where I live.
But
That's still open.
because I used to work in Burbank, so I used to go to the one in Burbank a lot.
Was that the one that's in the movie with
Yeah.
the spaceship that's crashed into it? That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was pretty fun. There's a picture of me there holding a Street Fighter controller. I mean, I have a picture of myself there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Anyway, I thought that was really fun. I think that it's a really interesting movie. What I really like, number one, the trailer doesn't give anything away, and I think that's like the opposite.
Oh, one thing really quick.
Yeah.
I mentioned that Fry's that a spaceship crashed into. There's an actual. That's part of the front of the store.
Yes.
There's like it looks like a UFO crashed into it. It's not a spoiler for the movie.
Isn't it?
No.
It's a thematic.
Sorry, John.
It's a thematic thing with the movie, and I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
There's a lot of visual metaphors.
It is a great pick for a location considering the themes of that movie.
Spaceships in this movie.
They're really excited about Nope.
Yeah,
That's nice.
I think
They're gonna keep talking about it, or
I want Vanessa to watch it so we can talk about it on a bonus episode.
Spoiler.
I would love that.
Vanessa, will you watch it so we can talk about it on a spoiler episode?
I will watch it. I will not make a time commitment as to when I will watch it.
Okay.
All right,
if you
I think it's a
wait
good-
till it's
by
just out
the
at home, I will watch.
I
it
would
too.
say
I'm
watch
not-
it in the
this month's
theater.
bonus, we're talking about
No,
we're not.
But Vanessa, I would
We are
recommend seeing it in
following through
theaters.
on our promised bonus episode of
Beyond Two Souls.
Two
Oh, speaking of our
Girls, One
Patreon.
Soul.
We got a vote on right now, and listeners should trundle over to our Patreon, get a $5 a month Patreon account for us, a subscription, pledge, whatever you want to call it, and then vote on whichever game you want us to play next. They're all adventure games, so
The
there's
day this comes out, you'll have, I think, a full week left. So
yeah, there's Gremil the Cthulhu Adventure. Is that what it's called? Gremulon?
Sure.
It's called Gibbous, a Cthulhu mystery? Cthulhu adventure?
Sure.
Cthulhu video game?
It
One of
looks.
those.
I watched the trailer and it actually looks fucking great.
Yeah,
So,
it looks good. I think the art
Yeah.
style looks great, and it's got good reviews. So
Yeah.
all for it. That's Jim's pick. Vanessa's pick is Broken Sword.
The Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templar.
That's
Great
the
game,
first one,
2D animation. Mm-hmm.
Broken Sword is a fantastic series.
It is.
I've never
it
played
is.
one.
They're
They're
real
great.
good.
Well, I look forward to playing one if it wins.
I thought that the Broken Sword games were the same as our next contestant, the Gabriel Knight games.
No. They're by, so Gabriel Knight Sins of the Father is the one of the last Sierra
ask for an explanation.
VGA games, like with their VGA mouse interface. I think it might be the last one. It's pretty
Wow.
late before they went to like Phantasmagoria style and all that, and King's Quest 7 style.
I had Gabriel Knight Sins of the Father on PC, and I could never get very far in it, but I was kind
that's
of
the
obsessed
one.
with it.
That's the one we'll be playing if that wins.
Or maybe I had the second one. Maybe I had the Beast of Yucca Flats or
the
whatever.
Beast
second one
Within is FMV. That's how you know that one.
That would
Oh,
be
then no, because it was
amazing.
not Super
I want to play
FMV.
that one.
It
We'll have to
was
play that one on stream.
point
I
and
think.
click.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Anyway, and then of course our final contestant and the current lead is Matthew's choice: a wolf, a mongoose.
You know, usually I think like as far as votes go, I
A wolf.
have the highest percentage of wins.
A moon
Not to
goose.
brag,
thought
but I
Vanessa
have the
did.
highest percentage of wins in terms of picks. I
don't know
think.
that that is something to brag about, to be honest with you. I
But
think it says
also,
something about
if-
your tastes.
But also, if the wolf
it's not
among
something
us
positive.
wins, I will not take that personally. Because I really want to play that game.
Yeah, I really want to play it too. I have read the entirety of Fables. Bill Willingham is kind of a right-wing douchebag, but
thought
not
it was
a
just called
super right-wing douchebag. It's
Oh,
called
Fables
Fables.
is different.
And I would love to talk about it, and I really want to play it. And I've heard that somebody's working on a sequel, which is neato.
I heard that too.
I would also like to play this game.
Honestly, I think I would like to play any of these. It sounds
Yeah,
like a
I think
real.
all these are good, actually.
Yeah, I agree. Now, Give Us a Cthulhu Story does look like generic trash, and Broken Sword is nothing to
Fuck
me.
off.
So, my recommendations are Gabriel Knight, or, of course, A Wolf of Mongoose.
Gay Bear All Night. Gay Bear All Night.
Gay Bear All Night. Gay Bear All Night, A Wolf of Mongoose, and some trash that Jim found online. Some
Wow.
flash game.
John's like,
flash game.
let's do an adventure game. And then I didn't say anything for a minute, and John was like, I bet Jim's Googling horror adventure game, and I was like, that's exactly what I'm doing, and that's exactly what I picked.
And I chose Broken Sword because it is a underrated classic.
I
Yeah,
think
I
all of those
definitely-
games are really well made, and I would be happy to play any of them.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, I watched the trailer for that Cthulhu game, and I thought it looked fantastic.
It looks like a really good voice acting too, which is good, which is interesting for a Transylvanian game.
Do you think we have a good spread of eras? Like we've got a Telltale game, we've got that Gibbous game looks pretty recent.
Yeah,
It
it's
came out like
2019, I think.
Yeah, 2019. Yeah.
Broken Sword's the only one I just don't know much about.
It's a
for some reason. I
PS1
recognize
era.
the
Like,
name.
it came out like 96, 97.
Broken
Yeah,
Sword,
97, I
yeah,
think.
was like late 90s PC.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
And
You
it
know
came
what?
out
I think
on
I actually
PS1.
played part of this when it came out on iOS.
They have really great escalation in those games in terms of the plot. Like they just there's more and more stakes in every as you play it, and it's really fun.
Yeah,
One
and it
thing to
has
note
that like
is that-
2D hand-drawn animation style, which I think is
Yeah. It
rare
does
to
look
see in
nice.
games.
And the writing is actually really good, and not all of them, but most of them.
Two
Gabriel-
things to note.
Oh.
One, we really wanted to work the Discworld game in there, but it is not currently available.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
I mean,
not
you can.
playable.
You can find it on Abandonware, but that's not legal. I mean, it's not legal quotation marks. So,
We
yeah.
do not endorse piracy on the
Yeah.
main show. What was the other thing I was going to say that was also super important?
It ends in a week.
Must not have been very important.
Gabriel
Please
Knight
You know what?
has-
I will just say I might commit piracy if we got enough patrons.
It was Broken Sword. It was Broken Sword. Not Broken Sword. Gabriel Knight. There is a re-released version that does not have the original voice cast, which included Mark Hamill and
Tim Curry.
Oh right, Tim Curry. Yeah,
Yeah, Tim
Tim
Curry
Curry.
doing a Louisiana accent, which is fantastic.
Ah, boy,
That would be
So,
incredible.
big
Wow.
note that if you are curious which one we will play, we will be playing the original version if that game wins.
I
Because I
hope.
will
Yeah.
not. I
That's
will
on GOG?
not
It's on
not
GOG,
play
yeah.
the Tim Curry version. I will
with the
kill
original
you.
VO.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yes, that's amazing. I'm glad that the original version is still available on good old games.
GOG is a treasure. Yeah.
I
Doug
actually
is a
never played
treasure.
it with the. I've heard the clips of the voice acting, but I had the 3.5-inch floppy version of Gabriel Knight, so I didn't
Oh
have
man,
it.
I used to have
I-
those games.
Yeah, like
Oh,
I said,
I
but-
had those King's Quest games on floppies.
Oh yeah.
You guys have 3.5-inch floppies.
I had.
Wow.
I
A lot of
remember
people do.
buying Doom.
It's a grower, not a
No.
show.
Yeah.
I remember buying Wolfenstein in like a 5-disc bundle for like $2. It was not one disc, and by disc I do not mean CD-ROM. I mean, I don't think they were floppies. I think they
Flops?
were the other
Oh,
ones.
the other ones.
Well, you still call it floppy even if it's the 3.5-inch. Even
The
if they're the
3.5.
plastic
Were
ones, yeah.
mini discs real? I've never seen a mini disc in real life.
Yeah, mini like UMD's just a mini disc wrapped in a hard container.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, mini discs were their own thing. Anyway, I also played Diablo 3 quite a bit, several hours of that with my friend Mike. That game's really fun.
I like Diablo 3. It is really fun.
Two
yeah.
player. I
And it's-
kind of found it boring one player, but multiplayer is great.
Yeah, it's a really fun game, and you can get through the main story pretty quickly.
Yeah, yeah, and I
It's-
think it
it's
with up
pretty
to like
fun.
4 people, so that'd be a good one for the show too, because it's got a story.
It would be, and actually for this vote, I suggested Dungeon Crawler, but nobody bit.
Ah, I'm sorry. Anyway, Vanessa, how did you level up?
Yeah, hi. I watched some of a show on Amazon Prime called Paper Girls.
Ooh, I want
I
some of that
heard
too.
criticism of the fake video game in it or something.
I don't think I've gotten to that portion of it.
You mean like in the first episode, Polybius, that's the video game I mentioned the other day?
Oh, yeah.
And
Maybe
people are
that's
like,
what
it doesn't even have pixel graphics. Yeah, but neither did that version of that cowboy game, Back to the Future 2, and you still watch that.
You know what? It's kind of a fake video game, so who gives a fuck?
Yeah. But this show is good. It's been compared to Stranger Things, not unfairly, I don't think. It is about little 80s children, but there's a twist there. Girls. Whoa. Did I just blow your mind? The young actresses in it are very, very good. I am enjoying the plot. It's a science fiction story. I don't want to give too much away about what happens, but I like it a lot. And it's fun to have a new show to watch.
Is the full season out?
Yes.
Yes.
I watched
Matthew-
4 episodes of it the other night and really enjoyed it.
It's on my
I
list, and
watched
I'm glad that Vanessa watched it because I was hoping to get somebody's opinion before I did. I read the first few issues of the comic book that it's based on, and I remember thinking that it was really pretty, and I was very interested in it, but I did not understand what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, I would say that the
I don't know
show
if
is
the
really
show's
good about explaining all that. But
That's
like
good.
the performances in it though, like it feels a little cheap, honestly, in the pilot episode, which a lot of pilots do.
Well, that's
But,
true, but
like-
also you have to remember that Amazon is kind of the odd man out still. Like, they don't have like
Yeah.
an old studio behind them like a lot of these. So kind of everything they do looks a little cheap.
Yeah, I will say that like I was very surprised by how great some of the performances are. Not the girls, but even the supporting cast too. A lot of them just feel like they fit those characters so well. It feels really good. It feels really good.
Yeah, it's good. It feels a little Midnight Massy to me in that it's paced in a way that lets people kind of speak and be in their characters rather than just shoving you from plot point to plot point.
Man, that sounds
Yeah,
amazing.
it's kind of like I thought Midnight Mass got a little preachy. But this one is kind of the better version of that, where they let them characterize but not overly like
They're not
articulate how they're
monologuing
feeling.
necessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Correct,
and
yeah.
because they're, 12, which is such a weird age, especially for girls, I think, they don't necessarily even know how they're feeling. And I think
they're
it's,
like finding their feelings in the moment.
Yeah.
And you can definitely tell that that's going on.
So that is definitely a show I recommend. I also watched a show called Stormmeister. Stormmeister is a Danish show. And,
I cannot continue this. I will fight you. So help me God if you pretend like another show that is Taskmaster is not Taskmaster.
Stormmeister?
Yeah, hold on, is this a Taskmaster? Because I thought it sounded like a cool sci-fi
course it
show or
is.
maybe a
It's
crime
not.
drama.
it's
It's
called
Taskmaster.
Stormmeister. Stormester. Let's see how Wikipedia summarizes it. Stormmeister, translation Grandmaster,
Oh, Jesus.
is the Danish version of Taskmaster.
Oh.
Get out! Get out!
Vanessa has a problem.
I
We need
demand
to
you
address
wheel
it.
your locker out here. You have a problem. This is...
All right, fine. Then I'll talk about Stray.
Okay.
Started playing a game called Stray. It's where you be a kitty cat in
What?
a cyberpunk hellscape.
Oh, really? What do you what do you do in that game is kind of what I've been wondering from day one.
What you do is you can nuzzle other cats. You
Okay.
can jump on things and knock things off shelves. You can
like,
scratch.
So this
Manipulate
isn't
the
like a
environment.
warrior cat story. Like you're not
No,
the chosen
they're-
one, and you're not gonna fight the dark cats to save the soul of the good cats or whatever.
It's
I
not
think
about
those people. I think those people turned that into a cult. So is this that? Is this a cult?
It's not about.
No.
It's not really about cats. You are a cat, but it is definitely not about cats.
No. It's about this world that is populated by robots, and they are kind of trapped in this robot village, and they want to get out.
But like everywhere around their kind of little robot village is beset by this bacteria that eats all organic stuff and metal. So it will eat the robots if they try to get out.
And the humans are gone from this place, and it's not clear if they exist at all anymore or not.
It's a real near Amatamanana.
It's a real
You know
near
what? Kind of,
Automatamabona. But it's a puzzle game. There is like a little bit of action in it, but not a lot. It's more like a navigation, puzzle solving, and you is cat.
Okay.
Yeah, and like you can not only like, it's basically a kind of a puzzle platformer where you can jump from place to place, but you can also stop and do cat things. Like if there's a couch, you can stop and scratch the fuck out of that couch.
You can stop and take a nap.
You can stop and take a nap, yeah.
You can meow at
I
people.
mean, every game should have the ability for me to stop and take a nap. Because that would be very true to life. Like, oh, okay, I've had enough of this for a minute. I know where there's a quiet corner. Leave
Yeah,
me
if there's
alone.
like water collecting somewhere, like fresh water, you can stop and take a drink of the water.
I thought this game would freak out my cat because there is a meow button and it does go meow. On the PlayStation 5, it goes meow through the controller, which I really enjoy.
To the controller and the speaker.
And the speaker? Mine is just going through the controller.
Oh,
When
mine
I-
was both.
When I hit the meow button. Interesting. And it also, but my cat didn't seem to care about that. What he did care about was when your cat purrs and that comes through the controller. He was like on top of my lap, immediately looking for the other cat, trying to figure out who was purring, what was purring, where was it. Like, it really got to him.
Chungus really liked it too. When I was playing it, I was doing the meow button a lot, like trying to get her attention. And she went, and she never does this. She went and stood in front of the TV and would not move. I had to physically move her. But yeah, I really enjoy the game. I'm glad you're enjoying it too.
I am.
How far along are you?
I just sort of entered the sewer area.
Okay, I'm like right at the other end of the sewer area.
Okay. It's not a very long game. I don't think. I don't think it's probably
I think
more
I'm
than
like
10 hours.
2/3 of the way through it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's included with your PlayStation Plus subscription if you have the like bonusy one. Straight.
Yeah. It's so well written too. Like all of the dialogue and all of the like little clues you find are just
Yeah, the characters are really interesting. It's an interesting mystery.
like you meet a bunch of robots and all of the robots feel so distinct from the way that they dress or the way that they talk or
That's
like
awesome.
some are wearing wigs and some are like wearing clothes and some are not. Some are watching TV. It's very cool.
Cool. That sounds fucking fantastic.
Yeah, it's actually really awesome.
And that's
All right.
how I leveled up. And I believe that is everybody.
Oh no,
except-
we have to talk about South Park now.
Matthew hasn't leveled up yet.
Except
Oh, Matt hasn't?
for...
Oh, I have some
Matt.
bad news.
Yeah?
I want to talk about South Park. No, I'm kidding. I've been playing Tales of Arise. It's pretty fun.
Oh,
I guess. Like,
Did you
I
buy
see
it,
people
or is it
talking
on
about
the
it.
Game Pass, or
No, I bought it. I bought it a while ago. I
You've
actually
had it
bought
for a
last.
while, yeah.
Yeah, I bought it back when we were all buying ourselves Christmas presents.
I remember that.
And it was on sale.
It's weird it's weird. We know each other so well. I can remember the Christmas presents Matt bought
For himself.
for himself.
I bought Tales of Arise, and it's you know what? It's pretty fun. Like the combat's just about as slick as it's ever been. It's got, I was feeling like it had a really paper thin plot up until the recent level that I'm on. Where so like the setup, the premise is there are two planets, and the people from one planet have subjugated the people from the other planet. And you are a slave. And magic stuff happens, and you meet a magic girl, and you break free and start freeing the people of your land from the rule of the, fascist dictators who are murdering your people. And so it's been pretty thin as far as, it's like, hey, we're going to fight evil. Now it's gotten a little sticky. I'm maybe a third of the way into the game, and we've met some characters, some like abolitionists, basically, from the other world. So it's getting a little more interesting, and it's fun. It does a few things that really aggravate the ever-living shit out of me, one of which is that I don't think that it ever will introduce the ability to strike first against the monsters on the field. You just have to walk into them forever, and it sucks. Why would you do this? It's crazy, and it makes me kind of nuts. I have to legitimately force myself to not pay attention to the fact that I'm just wandering into them, and I don't get to attack them first. But it has a lot of interesting things, and it looks fantastic, and the characters are all cliches, and everything is pretty thin and tropey, but that's a Tales game. So, Tales of Arise. It's a game that I'm playing. That's how I leveled up.
South Park time.
South Park time.
South.
I mean, I can talk about how I'm going to go see the Dragon Ball movie. Do you guys want to hear about how I'm taking a group
What Dragon
of children?
Ball movie? What Dragon Ball movie?
What?
There's a
children?
new animated Dragon Ball movie coming out called Dragon Ball Superhero. And I'm going to take Connor, my son, and a few of his friends on a Monday evening, on a school night.
Ooh,
We're
rad.
going to go party it up and watch Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball.
Now, this one looks like it has, looks like they have finally committed to CG animation for Dragon Ball, which I'm not thrilled about. Because that shit doesn't look very good, It looks like a video game.
So is
And
this
we hate video
a
games.
continuation of the Dragon Ball story, or do they keep rebooting
This
the
is
Dragon
still a
Ball?
continuation of the Dragon Ball series. It's never been rebooted. I guess it kind of has been rebooted because there was that Dragon Ball GT show that was canon, and then they were like, not really. And 20 years later, they were like, never mind. Which is fair because it was trash. But, yeah, the Dragon Ball... in fact, now that this movie is coming out, they've said that they're in production, finally, on new episodes of Dragon Ball Super, the series that was running. It ran like 150 episodes. And then kind of just stopped. And people have been wondering what they're going to fucking do. And I guess they've been waiting for this movie to come out. And now they're launching more Dragon Ball. I don't know. Who cares? It's Dragon
I actually have a prediction about what they're going to do. I think that there's going to be...
This one is, I'm going to cut you off because I know the joke you're going to make. I've heard it so many times. I just can't do it
Wow.
again. Yes, they're all going to sit there. The cloud's going to dissipate. They're going to still be standing there. Everybody's going to make that face. And then it's going to look like they're pooping. So,
Matt is
this one
just,
does look like it is mostly
vetoing
about...
all my best bits. Watching Taskmaster, making fun of Dragon Ball.
Like I said, we know each other too well.
This one does look like it's, I think, just about Gohan and Piccolo. I don't think that Goku and Vegeta are the leads of the movie, which is an interesting idea, and I am here for. Let's be real. Like any long-running series, it's gone on so long that it has hit the absurd levels, and there was a point when the plan was to pass the series off onto Gohan, the son, the younger character, to keep things fresh, and they decided not to do that. Anyway, now their hair turns blue when they level up, so...
Well, that's cool and new.
Yeah. Do you guys want to talk about anything else at all? Like anything other than South
Stick
Park?
of truth. Stick of truth.
I went to a bar, had a beer. You guys want to hear what the beer that I had? It was a
We
double
already
IPA.
heard about it. Paul was there, your coworker, who's going to arrange some
My daughter
PUBG
got her hair
races
did.
with us. We saw the
He was-
pictures
She
of
did?
her
Looks
hair. She
great.
looks really good. Like, she's freaking slaying. I want to know what kind of lipstick she was wearing because it looked heckin' good.
Her glasses were interesting.
They were cool.
Yeah, she had cute little shades on.
Yeah.
I mean,
Heart
wear that
shades?
kind of stuff when you're
Were those
a
prescription?
teenager, because why not?
All right, so do you guys remember where we left off last time?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
were in
went to
our
bed.
snug little bed, and then 3 gray aliens came in and loomed over us. Dun dun dun.
And they drag us in our pajamas to their ship.
Not in our gym jams.
We aren't wearing jammies, and I honestly think it's kind of annoying that I have to change my armor back.
Yeah, it's really fucking annoying.
Yeah.
I was wondering why I
'Cause
was
it
getting
doesn't
so
tell you.
wrecked.
Yeah,
like,
I'm getting
oh,
wrecked, and then you're
yeah.
like, oh, wait.
You have to change your armor back. It's pretty annoying. The game does that.
So you,
But I do like this setting.
I think
What?
it does some good jokes. I liked
Yeah.
because you find all these audio logs, and they're
I
like,
like the audio logs.
"Oh, I just
yes.
keep finding more and more audio logs."
Yeah, it's like it's a real kind of commentary on finding audio logs in video games, and I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, there's a lot
Yeah,
of
it's funny.
2014 comedy, like making fun of 2014 era games. Like
There's a lot of
there's
meta humor in
audio
this,
logs
yeah.
everywhere, and then
This felt like a BioShock thing, like making
Yes.
fun of BioShock
Yes.
specifically because the recorders they were like the BioShock recorders. They looked exactly like the BioShock ones.
Yeah, but also
so it
like
felt like a
Dead
real
Space.
BioShock send up. Yeah.
Yeah, they also just looked like like an actual like kids recorder.
Yes.
So I don't know about that.
I don't know. To me, okay.
But I did like that. Like the
and
audio
also,
logs feel like a
every
waste
game
of
did
time.
this.
Like the audio,
Yeah.
when you listen to the audio log, it's just a guy saying, "I just keep finding these audio logs. Why do people have time
It's
to
really
record
funny.
them?
I know.
This doesn't make any sense." And
a good
everywhere I
joke.
look, it's just more and more audio logs, and they just feel like filler. Like they're not saying anything interesting. I keep thinking I'm going to
So
learn something cool.
we wake up on the spaceship, and the aliens are trying to probe us rectally. And through a series of button mashes, we are able to explode their probing machine with the power of our farts, because we have very powerful dragon shout farts. And they eventually just leave. And
I mean,
we
it's
can get up off
very
the table.
graphic. If any listeners are listening and not playing, it's super graphic of men and women and children locked onto a table and being just fucked in the ass by these giant fucking dildos. I mean, that's what they are, right?
Yeah.
They look
Probes.
like dildos.
They look
And
just like a dildo.
I like
I mean,
how
it looks like a dick,
well,
I should say. It doesn't really look just like a dildo. It looks like
So
a dick.
when you first wake up on the ship, the first dildo they try to stick on you is this like white looking probe dildo,
Oh,
and
that's
then when
right.
you blow that out, they're like, we need to graduate to the bigger one, and it's a big black dildo. Like, come on.
I don't appreciate your laughing recreation of the joke, Jim. You're canceled.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, this is my last episode of Square Roots.
John, you're going to have to take over.
Canceled.
We can't kick Jim off. He's everyone's favorite.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Wow.
Johnny's everyone's favorite.
No.
Wow.
Vanessa's
Yes.
everyone's favorite.
No.
Steven Stone.
Look at
This
you
is
guys.
Steven
I
Stone.
also am not anyone's favorite, and I'm perfectly comfortable with that.
You're my favorite.
So you see Randy, and he starts communicating with you in the very like BioShock Dead Space style of like, through video screens telling you what to do next. This is all a very like Dead Spacey BioShocky send up.
Yeah,
For sure.
every time it always actually there are some great jokes here.
Oh, yeah,
it
it's good.
makes you
I
do a
liked it.
Simon thing, and it intentionally bucks you up.
Makes it impossible.
Like it will always be impossible the first time, so that you can watch Randy get fucked,
Well,
and
I
then
love
it'll be
that
super easy. And honestly, this killed me.
Yeah, I like the intro to this because the first time you do it, it's like, okay, it's a Simon Says game. It gives you an easy input and then another kind of easy input, and then the next one is fucking impossible. It's like watching Mozart play the piano, and like there's no way. And then when you obviously fail it, you see Randy rammed in the ass by an
actually-
anal probe,
I
and
went-
he's like, okay, try again.
I went back after the end of this chunk, after the end of after the end of this, and after Randy was gone. And if you go back, it still will show you Randy getting.
Oh, really?
Oh, interesting.
Huh. One
That's
thing
what
to
we
note
call
about
a blooper.
Randy
Yeah,
Marsh
it kind of is.
is that he seems
Continuity
to
error on IMDb.
like he doesn't want to be on the ship, but he's also okay. He seems reasonably okay with what's going on.
He seems well like because like this is a throwback to like the first season of South Park. They make you think that this is something that happens routinely to these people. Like it didn't stop after that, like
Yes,
second or third
yes.
episode or whatever. It's just kept happening.
The Greys continued to show up throughout the show. They
They
did not
make like
just
little
show up.
cameos here and there. Yeah.
But you're right. This did feel very much like it didn't stop. It felt like a continuation from
it's
season
still
1.
going on.
Well,
Yeah.
I
Because
think Randy
what
says
happens is-
it's the price of living in a small town. You know, like
Yeah.
What happens is after you clench your rectum so hard that the probe can't probe you, you get a satellite dish stuck in your ass, just like the one Cartman had in the very first episode
Oh
of
right. Yeah.
South Park,
Good
and that
call.
then you can use to teleport around. And actually, we've already seen the teleporters in the town before this, because I ran across a few and obviously was like, well, guess we'll see how I get to use that.
Yeah. I think that's pretty decent game design.
Yeah, for the most part. I think it's
Yeah, not
it's-
great, but decent.
Yeah, and some of this kind of reminded me of like LucasArts and Sierra games of the early '90s a little bit, walking around and trying to figure out how to get around the ship. There's like a little bit of teleporting puzzles.
I think the environmental puzzles and when I say environmental puzzles, I mean trying to defeat the enemies in the environment without engaging them in actual combat. These are probably the toughest in the game, I think. Trying to figure out how to destroy these aliens.
It's I would say just the mechanic is the most rewarding thing in the game, because I love the feeling of looking at a room and saying, I don't have to get into any fights here, because the combat isn't bad, but it's not good. It's boring, honestly. Like the combat, it's got some nice perks or whatever, but like I never want to be in combat in this game. Every time I get into a fight, I'm like, fuck. It's not hard, but like it's just like it's too long. It should be 10 fucking seconds, you know?
This is probably the first part in the game, though, where the game will just hand you armor and accessories and weapons that let you absolutely fucking obliterate the enemy. Like
It does that throughout the game. Midway
this
through
one
the
is
third
like-
day, I was able to buy that katana from Jimbo, and that thing, and I
Just
did
wreck
not have
everybody.
to complete. By the way, you said you had to complete his missions. You do not,
Yes, I was wrong about that. You can just go and buy that shit.
and it does 1,000 to 2,000 damage 3 times. It annihilates everything. It's
It does, yeah.
absurd, and I honestly, at this point, I appreciate it. Like I'm saying, it's great.
But
it's fine.
this-
Just
in
I
this
wanna know.
game, like you get the aliens. Like even Randy calls it out. You get some piece of equipment, and Randy's like, "Oh, that's an electric thing. It's really good against aliens. You better equip that."
Yeah, that was pretty fun. So some mild.
And then if you put shock patches on all your stuff, you will wreck everything in here.
yeah.
you get the broken off probe. You get the white probe to fight with.
Yes, towards the end of this, and that's one of the better weapons in the game at this point.
Well, it's the better weapon. I mean, there's always a better
For
weapon.
right
in the game
here,
at this
yeah.
point. Yeah. It
It
doesn't.
was
it doesn't
very
last long.
satisfying to use this. Yeah.
I did go to there's like a little side quest in well, not even a side quest, just if you go to the basement of the ship, you'll find the guy leaving the voice logs, and he decided to eat some delicious green goo, and this introduces the next stage of the plot of this game, because when he does, he turns into a Nazi zombie. And you fight him in
He turns into a Nazi zombie.
And at first I was just like, oh, it's because they want to use literal clips of Hitler's speeches while you fight somebody. Although I do realize this was the point where Nazi zombies were in like 5 different movies and 8 different games, and I understand what they're getting at here.
Yeah.
that it was a
Honestly,
big
some of
thing.
it's pretty funny too. Like
Yeah.
early at first, it's just zombies, but then you're fighting like zombie cats and stuff.
Yeah,
I like
the
the
cat
zombie
doesn't
cats,
look
and I
fun.
like the zombie ginger kids.
And it's
The
just
zombie
very
rats.
strange that they're like it's voice clips of literal Hitler.
Yeah,
When you fight
I
them.
do.
I mean, but
I do think
yeah.
they lean on it a little too much.
Yeah.
Like these are enemies that are going to be around till we finish the game, so it's a little much.
Yeah,
I wonder if I spoke German, what the experience would be like. You know?
I mean, I understand
Because-
some of the words.
Do you? Name them now.
Mein Leben, he says that, and he talks about Schnell.
What does that mean?
Why is Johnny talking like a Hitler? I don't like this.
That's German. Like it's just lots of like very standard German words, like especially
Yeah,
that are
yeah.
famous for that Nazis are famous for saying stuff about the fatherland and all that. Yeah.
Anyway, so we beat up the aliens, and because we beat them up so good, the ship crashes, leading to my favorite
Yes.
joke in the game.
Hold on, I really like the ship crashing scene because after
Be right
you
back.
defeat the two UFO pilots, an alien like flight attendant comes out and she's like, "Oh!" and she's screaming around. It's just a really funny scene.
Moo 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 moo. They talk in moose.
Yeah.
They
found
talk
that
in moose
pilot-
because they talk in moose because they have determined that cows are the most intelligent species on the planet.
Yeah. Also, like, if you've ever been around a cow, they're fucking stupid. I used to work cattle as a teenager because I grew up in a farming community. Cows are dumb as hell. They're real stupid.
So I guess that
Wow.
makes it okay to slaughter tens of millions a year for your cow genocides, Jim.
It doesn't make me feel bad about it, but I think they should be treated humanely. I don't want them to like be in bad conditions, but it's okay to eat them.
I don't think anyone
That's-
here doesn't
That's
support.
the real.
Yeah.
You know, right now, hardcore lunatics think that abortions are the real fight for the future that one day people will look back on and be like, wow, we shouldn't have done all those abortions. But in reality, I think it's going to be the cows.
If
I really
cows ever
do.
become sentient, maybe, but they're
Cows
basically
and the pigs and the chickens.
I
You know,
don't
Pigs are
think
pretty
think
smart
that
though. My mom has
Future
a pet
humans
pig.
will all be vegetarians, is my
Yeah, I agree with you,
prediction.
actually, Matt. I think that is true.
Wow. Vanessa and I in agreement on a hot button political issues.
Yeah, wow.
Matt and I both believe that in 500 years, people will be like, I can't believe people used to eat meat. That's so gross.
All right, Vanessa, I wanted to hear what you thought about the alien pilot.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. That's what I was thinking about. Alien pilots. Oh, yes. I found this fight difficult. I'm not quite sure why.
Because you have to attack that defense matrix
Yeah, I think that was the issue.
first. Yeah, you can,
What?
but like if you're using that like dildo weapon with the electrical equipment patch on it, you can kill that thing in 2 turns.
Yeah, but
Yep,
I
the
think
game
that
is
this
very
game
easy.
is like so easy that if I have to take a few turns to do something, I'm like, wow, this is hard.
Well, that thing added like 5 shields to those guys.
And you're by
You
yourself.
legitimately.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's
you're
the
by
toughest
yourself.
part.
Yeah.
You legitimately can like just mash your way through this game.
Well,
Like,
that's
it
why you gotta
is-
drink those speed potions. If you want
I
to
did
like
start
wreck
using
everyone,
those. I did not
drink
realize.
a speed potion. Yeah.
I did not realize that was an option that you could give yourself 2 fucking hits per turn. It's
Yeah,
absurd.
basically 2 attacks per round. Yeah,
It's a joke.
it is. Yeah, it is a joke. It's
I mean,
like
I kind of appreciate it. Kind of more games should just be fucking really easy.
I think
Hey,
so
do
too.
you just want me to see your content? Me too.
Hold on? Are we calling this South Park game forward-thinking game design?
No, get the fuck out of here.
But no, not a forward-thinking script, but forward-thinking game design.
Will you please stop doing work for this? It's not. A good
I'm trying to trick you into liking the game. That's my whole mission.
I think that this is
You know
a
what?
wild turnabout
Found
from Matt's
a few jokes funny. Like, I'm sorry, Vanessa.
from Matt's position on Elder Scrolls, where he got so furious with me for wishing it was easier. We had a big
feel like
fight.
Which
That's not
Elder
true.
Scrolls? Skyrim.
Does anybody
or-
remember getting mad at Vanessa because she thought a game was hard?
I don't know. I'm always mad at Vanessa, so it's hard to tell
Yeah.
what caused it.
Well,
That's a
it's a good. Here's another good point. She probably is talking about you. She can't tell us apart.
I'm not talking
That's
about Jim,
true.
but I am talking about Elden Ring.
Oh, Elden Ring, not Elder Scrolls.
I did
It's
go
okay
to
to be
bat
mad
for
at Elden
Elden
Ring
Ring's
for not
lack
easier,
of
yeah.
difficulty options, but that's what they fucking want to do. They want a hard game. Like
I don't
it
want
sucks,
it.
but like you know that I don't want it either. I'm on this. I agree.
And I think I was just quoting that you cheated yourself thing because it's funny. You know, that dum-dum.
I mean,
Yes,
I feel
you
like
do
they
love
cheated
Dum-Dum.
themselves, like From Software. But then again, somehow they have become a billion-dollar franchise by being that hard. So I actually kind of think like if they don't want to make it easy on people, it kind of makes sense at this point. Like this is what's working for them.
It's their brand, and
It's their brand.
I just I don't get it.
I agree. Fucking put an easy mode in. I also want an easy mode in everything.
Like, who cares?
Who fucking cares? I'm 40 years old. Do you
I
see
think
my
that's the
gray
thing.
streaks in my beard? I don't care. Gang.
Anyway,
Once you get to
South
40
Park.
years old, no matter how good you are at video games, some kid is going to be better than you. So there's no reason for games to be difficult anymore because we're never going to be
Yeah.
able to go around being like, we're the best at Fortnite or something.
I don't know. I'm not bad at PUBG. I do win games.
We
You know?
win
One thing
games,
that I
but we're
find
not the
neat-
best. We can't push the buttons fast enough. Our old thumbs are
picked
too
up-
slow.
Wonder Boy 2 in Monsterland, and I never
The
got
classic?
past the 5th level or something as a kid, and I picked it up at age 40, and I was like, I almost finished the game. I was like, oh, I'm better at games now. Yay!
Yeah.
I
Well,
actually think I
just-
am too.
I mean, I remember, see, I've never struggled with that, and I'll tell you why. Because I remember getting a Nintendo when I was legitimately 5 years old and could not understand the buttons, basically. Like, I couldn't, 4 years old. Like, I couldn't read the words on the screen. But I still, and I would just run. I remember playing the original Mario and I remember struggling over understanding how to jump, you know? I was so young when I played it. So
I would have been so
never-
frustrated watching you. Like,
I never
nope,
questioned,
You don't get to
like-
play anymore.
You know, is it because I'm stupid that I don't understand how to play this game? I was always like, I just don't get it. Like, it's just something that I don't get yet. I'll get it. You get it eventually.
Yeah, right now, if there's ever a game with controller mechanics where it wants you to do very specific things with controllers, I just ace it right away. Just first time, I'm super good at it.
I mean, we all struggled on the same parts here, John.
Well, there's a part
Everybody
in this
does.
one
There was a
where,
whole discussion
like,
about
holy
it on the
fuck.
Facebook group about how terrible the tutorials are. In fact, I posit that it's intentional.
I
They
don't
do it
think
intentionally.
so.
I do.
No.
There's no fucking
It
way.
makes you listen
they
to the dialogue over and
accidentally-
over again.
So what? That's what games do, Jim. That's the joke.
But there's no
That's the fucking
punchline.
joke.
Yeah,
The
there's
punchline is
there's
that
no
you
payoff.
keep failing, and then it never makes you do it like that again. There's no way that's unintentional.
I think you're giving them too much credit. I think
Wow,
you're
Matt, stop
simping-
doing so much work for this game, you
I am
fucking
carrying
libertarian
fucking
bastard.
water. I am carrying water, but I'm not carrying water for South Park. I'm carrying water for the game design by the game developers.
Yes,
I don't know
thank
if
you.
you've
I
heard
can
of
agree with
them. Black Isle Studios. That was the vote. That was the vote. They make good games. There's a reason that this game is fun and that even Vanessa was able to breeze through it and is already on the trequel.
that. She's already
know?
beaten
Vanessa-
the sequel.
think about some
Because
of
they're
Vanessa's favorite
well-designed
games.
RPGs by
She loves
a
vampires. That's-
well-established RPG creator.
Yeah,
tight
they
games.
did Vampire the Masquerade, a bunch of the same people. They did Alpha Protocol, which Vanessa hasn't played, but I think she would love. They did Fallout New Vegas, and
Which I
yeah.
do
John, I'll
love.
play Vampire the Masquerade again if you'll play Final Fantasy IX again.
I don't want to play
And
either.
why
I
would
want to play
Johnny
Alpha
agree
Protocol.
to that? He doesn't want to play either of those games again.
I also want to play Alpha Protocol.
And I want to play Fallout New Vegas. It'll happen someday.
My suggestion for the next vote, which I will try to carry over if I can get you people to agree to it, is JRPG franchises we have not played.
Jerpig.
Jerpig franchises we have not played.
Golden Sun. Golden Sun.
Oh, I would love to play a Golden Sun.
We talked through them. There's a bunch. Golden Sun. I don't think we have to do 4. We could just put them all out there. Golden Sun,
Ocean.
Saga, Star Ocean,
Are any of the Lufia games?
Trails.
Yeah, Trails.
Infinite Undiscovery.
That is not a series.
Saga is.
I already said Saga. What's the other S game?
Star Ocean.
No, there's a third one. There's another
Grandia.
S. No,
We
we've
already
done
played
Grandia.
Grandia.
Well, whatever. We had some great suggestions. That could be a real fun one.
Silent Hill.
Guys,
San Diego.
I
Cartman,
great.
where it is.
might
Yeah, it
be
would.
kind of JRPG starved. Like, we're playing this. We're playing an adventure game next. I'm playing a Tales game now for some
You know
reason.
what? It's gonna
I
feel
think
good
I
and not
wanna
like a
play
real
it.
fucking drag.
Yeah,
next
we take-
time.
I think it's good to take
sometimes
breaks.
like JRPG after JRPG.
Yeah.
Like, no offense to our listeners, is that's the format of the podcast, but sometimes one after another feels like a
be a
drag
drag.
and a half.
Also, you get tired of anime nonsense. Like, it just... So many of these plots boil down to word salad that never make sense for any reason. And
Yeah,
you're
but then
ju-
you
it
get
just- it gets
American
frustrating.
games. Or American or European games, and they're like, oh no, Nazi zombies.
That's
Yeah.
a good point. You're right. I guess at the end of the day, writing a satisfying ending is just really fucking hard. And
Oh, it
whether you
is.
lean
Well,
I
into
think
one
that
trope
speaks
or
to
another...
We gotta have balance. Like in everything, gotta have balance.
Also, I want to remind John that his suggestion was, I think, action games, and I think this is, when we were talking about the vote, I think you forgot about this, but I saw it was on sale. John wants to play Okami.
I do. It's a great game.
I
Yeah,
would
me
love to
too.
play Okami.
It's on
actually.
sale on the Xbox store.
It's a great game.
All right, so the ship crashes into South Park,
God, we're still on the alien shit.
Oh my god! Am I editing this? All right, we got to finish the
and
episode.
you see
now. This is
see
it.
the chunks of the ship crashing in different places, and
the ship mostly crashes into the South Park Mall.
yeah,
Like
and
the saucer is poking out. Of the
Matt,
mall.
let me correct you. That's not an alien spaceship crash. They're building a Taco Bell.
That fucking joke. Like, that's the government. The government gets wind of it, and they send their best people out to make sure nobody knows what's going on. And what they do is put a fucking Taco Bell coming soon sign out.
Yeah,
And that
they should. They should. But like,
slayed me. Best
what's
joke of the
real-
whole game.
what's really funny about that is when you're from the Midwest, if there's ever a new fast food chain opening, it is big fucking news. It's in the papers for miles around. So the fact that they made it a Taco Bell was so fucking funny to me. Like, I grew up in a small town. When they opened up a Wendy's in the next town over that was 15 miles away, people flipped out. There were lines around the block for that Wendy's.
oh, Wendy sucks.
I know, but it was a fast
know-
food place in a small town. You just don't get that.
That's true.
Wendy's is fucking fantastic if you get it perfect. And
Yeah.
otherwise, it's the pits.
I think
But
it's fine.
it felt like a very true to Midwest thing that everyone was like, this fast food chain is fun. It's fun. That's the feeling you get. It's finally coming here.
Listen,
it's
I want to
everywhere
talk more
else,
about
it's finally
Wendy's.
coming here.
Wendy's used to be the very best fucking burger joint. When they had the square patties,
The
the
Baconators.
fucking square fries.
Do they not
were
have
the
square patties
best.
anymore?
They changed it up, and now they have gone back to the square patties, but it is not the same, and it
I
will
guess
never
I
be the same
haven't had
again.
Wendy's for a long, long time because
Like, those distribution lines are gone. Like, they'll never get that actual specific stuff back. Now they've got their new version, but it's like a shitty knockoff of itself. It's awful.
yeah,
I like
now
their
that I think
Frosties.
about it, I don't
The
think I've
spicy
had
chicken
Wendy's
sandwich
since
is
I
still
was a
really good.
teenager.
I had a spicy chicken sandwich last Saturday, and it was
That
really
thing is
fucking
still really good. That is not
Yeah.
changed
And
in
it
any
had
way, shape,
bacon
or
on it.
form.
Great.
Whenever I pick
I haven't
up
had one with
Julio
bacon.
from work, like just to do a little hangout, He always makes me stop by Wendy's so he can buy 4 junior bacon chicken burgers.
Those are pretty good too, and they're Frosties. You dip a fry in that Frosty.
yeah,
That's
the
the best
Frosties
Frosty
Frosties
you've
are
had in your
still
life.
good. Wendy's still has some good stuff, but there was a time when I thought they were the very best, and they're just not anymore. Like that burger will never be the same. And their fries, they changed up their fry recipe, and again they tried to like go back and recreate it, and it has not.
I
been the
think
same.
their new fries are good because they have a little bit of skin on them. You get a little bit of skin on those fries, and
I like those. They had like
they're pretty hearty.
cardboard boxy fries. They were like fatter than McDonald's fries. They were so good.
McDonald's fries are so good.
I know. I'm gonna order a shitload of
All
McDonald's.
right, so
very soon, 'cause I'm starving.
the alien
I've
ship
not
has
eaten in
crashed.
10 hours.
Yeah, ship has crashed.
You go to
I
bed.
don't remember where. How do we wake up the next day?
You wake
In our
up and then
bed?
in your bed, and then I forget how you. I think you just walk back home, right?
I
Yeah,
guess.
you go
It
back
doesn't really
downstairs
explain
and your
it, I don't
parents are
think.
basically just like, yeah, go make more friends today, you little shit.
Well, they say, "Oh, have you
Yeah.
watched the news? There's something going on." And you watch the news, and they say that after there was an earthquake last night, and the town is wondering what's going on with all this activity. It's because they're building a new Taco Bell. That's what.
Yeah.
And so that's the news. And then you go outside, and you go talk to the was it the whatever clan, the camp, Koopa camp. That's it, Koopa camp, and talk to Cartman.
The KKK.
Yeah, that's why he's the Grand Wizard. And you go talk to them, and Cartman's like, okay, the elves have stolen the Stick of Truth. This is awful. We need you to go recruit the Goth kids because they like you. So you got to do that so that we can fight back against the elves. And so you go to the Goth kids, and they are disrespecting you. They do not want to talk to you because you look like a nerd. You look like a conformist, and say like, "Oh, why don't you go talk to your 2.5 kids because you're boring us." I love talking to the little kid, the little Goth kindergartner.
Oh
who's
yeah.
like,
I see death in you. You're like
I think
a
his name is
talking
Leonard.
corpse.
he's so
Yeah.
cute. I love him. And it tells you to go buy some goth clothes who you can buy from the person experiencing homelessness outside the store at
Also,
all.
like, how do you know that? How do you know to buy those clothes from that guy?
It puts a
I think
big
the kids
exclamation
say
mark.
it.
Well, it puts an
Oh,
exclamation
they do?
mark
Okay.
over the
Yeah,
homeless
well,
guy.
Like
and-
the first time I played this game, I was like, I do not know where to get those clothes. I know now, but I do not know how you would figure that out if you hadn't played this game before.
I always
The
look at the
Goth
map.
kids tell you, though. They say there's a
do
guy
they?
across town who sells the stuff we like.
Do they say by the U store it?
No, they just say across town.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
So if you look in the map, it puts an exclamation mark where all your quest locations are.
Yeah, it makes it real easy.
And so I headed over there. I stumbled onto the back of the U-Store where there's lots of storage lockers that are locked with specific keys. I also started doing some more side
Mr.
quests.
Mackey's
Yeah.
and
Al Gore's.
one of them I know is Professor Chaos, but I don't remember what it says. It
There's
does not
Mr.
say-
Mackey, Al Gore, and Professor Chaos.
Yeah. So
Those
I
are the
finished
three.
the Man Bear Pig side quest here. We'll talk about that later. And well, not the I finished the first part. I don't know, maybe.
Oh, there's two
What's
parts,
to
yeah.
talk about?
Yeah, the second part was a little too hard. I was like, I'll come back when I'm higher level.
It's the hardest one of the game, yeah.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
so.
Yep.
I
I think my sidekick carried me to the end of that one actually.
so they want you to be a nonconformist, so you go buy the same clothes that they do. I get the joke, but it is
Yeah.
that joke
Yeah.
they do hammer a lot. Like, okay, I
They
get
They
it.
really
say
do.
it
I get
over
it.
and over again.
Over and over, yeah.
I said this in the bonus episode we did, but the best joke in all of the South Park that we watched for our bonus episode was a very simple joke when a kid sticks their head outside to the goth kids to tell them about a fight and calls them emos.
Yeah.
And the goth kids turn and
She
look at
just
each
calls
other and are
emos.
just like, did they just call us emos? And I just fucking died.
So you head
Die.
back to the goth kids, and they're like, all right, you do look pretty cool. You're all dressed like a goth, so that's great. And then they're like, well, if you want us to do help, you should do something to show your nonconformity. And bring this sign to the PTA meeting. So they give you a sign, and I think it says "fuck the conformists." Am I correct?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
fuck the conformists.
So they give you that sign and tell you to go to the PTA meeting. This was the part where I couldn't figure out where the PTA meeting was. That was where there is an exclamation point, and I missed it on the community center. I was like, it took me 20 minutes of walking around to figure this one out.
That's
So-
too bad because it's right next to the school.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
right there, bud.
So I head to the PTA, and they're having a meeting because they're wondering about the dangers. How come they aren't getting information about the Taco Bell? Like, is this going to be a combination Taco Bell? What does the Taco Bell moving in mean?
There is a combination Taco Bell by me, and I've never been there. Why would I want to go to a place that has to
What is
serve
it combined with?
Pizza Hut and
KFC,
KFC?
Pizza Hut? Yep.
I've never seen one of those.
It's
ever.
right by my kids. It's right
Yeah.
by my ex-wife's house.
Actually, the two in my area, there's two Taco Bells, and they're both Taco Bell KFCs. There's not a Pizza Hut.
There's a Taco Bell cantina near me. What do you guys think about that?
Oh, that's
What's
the
that?
fancy one, right?
That's a Taco Bell that serves alcohol.
Oh, so there's a chain of oh man, I can't remember the name of it right now. There's a chain of like Taco Bell lookalikes in DFW that they sell
Taco Bueno?
margaritas and beer. It's not Taco Bueno. It's oh my gosh, I gotta Google it.
Hey,
But like, they're everywhere.
I feel like
We
this
have,
might be like
I'll tell you what I have around me that I don't think most people have is a KFC buffet.
What?
Wow.
You can just
I would
go
go
in
there.
and fucking go insane.
That sounds like because I can eat if I let myself like
dangerous.
I could eat 8
It's a little
pieces
far from
of
me, so I
fried
don't
chicken
go up there anymore. But
you know, like it's one of those things.
for
like,
me, it's the sides. I'll go nuts on those biscuits. I will go nuts.
they don't even have biscuits here.
They're not. They're the worst of the biscuits of the fried chicken place biscuits, but it's still a biscuit,
Oh,
and I will eat the shit out
that
of the biscuit.
that restaurant where they sell really bad food and alcohol is called Taco Cabana.
Taco
And,
Cabana,
and they're everywhere here, everywhere.
So the PTA meeting is not there. I think someone else brings up that it might not be a Taco Bell, and everyone just kind of ignores. I think it's Randy. It's like maybe it's not a Taco Bell because it seems to be really big and weird. And they kind of ignore him, and then you just walk up, and they go on with their meeting while you stand there with a "fuck the conformist" sign. It is adorable. No one really cares.
Yeah.
And after that, after the meeting is over, then this is the part. Another thing that took me forever to figure out, and people on stream were making fun of me, was that you have to talk to Randy twice, I think. You have to walk up to
you
the
have
podium.
to approach the podium. Yeah, you
'Cause you
tried
need
to
a
go back
photo
and
of
finish
you.
your quest without
Yeah.
even the photo.
Yeah, you need a photo
When John
of
says
you.
people were making fun of him, it was me.
Yeah. So you go up to the podium, and Randy's like, I'll help you with that. If you help me, I want you to investigate the Taco Bell and see what's going on. And so you head over to the bathroom with Randy, and he gives you special training on how to
I hate this.
do
This is the worst
sneaky
part of
fart.
the game by far.
And it took, what do you think, 15 minutes for me to do this, Vanessa?
Yeah, it was insane how long it took you to do it. And I know we've discussed that it's difficult and hard. It was insane how long it took you.
I would have probably like rage quit John's stream if I would have seen it. I'm glad I didn't tune in for that, because that, like, personally to me is the most frustrating part of any game I played in the last 5 years, maybe. The fact that it makes you do the same thing over and
I
over
keep
and
saying
never
the same thing.
Yeah, it always does the same thing. Never attempts to make it easier on you. Never, like, tries to explain it better. It's just the same thing over and over and over again, and it's so frustrating.
And you never have to do it that way again.
Yeah, that's a good point. You never, the way they make you do it, you never have to do that again,
Yeah.
ever. The same with all these fart
Because it's
tutorials, by the way.
intentional.
You never
It's
have to do
intentional.
it again, yeah.
I don't know if
That's a bad fucking joke. If that's intentional, if that's a joke, that's a shitty fucking
Yeah, they
joke.
didn't. There's no punchline like Vanessa said before. If
Yeah.
it is a joke.
Yeah.
I think if it was
is the fact that you do it over and over and over again.
So
The
you do
punchline's
fart
the fact that it's
on Mr. Mackey to demonstrate it, and that was kind of funny. So
They remind you
cooking
again
apples?
to never fart on somebody's balls. That's a big thing.
Oh yeah, it
It's
says that every time.
hilarious.
That's the main rule in this world is that you never. It's a gentleman's agreement. You never fart on another boy's balls.
So you then
There could
after
be some
you-
situations where you just couldn't help it.
there's one thing
I
that
mean,
does happen.
I've been a man for 35 years. I've never just farted on another guy's balls out of circumstance only.
I've never farted on someone. Maybe when I was a kid, that I don't remember.
Yeah,
But,
I've been
like-
farted
Sure,
on.
you have
but-
in your sleep.
Oh, well, for sure. Yes, I've definitely. If you're counting unintentional farting on people, I have farted on a lot of people.
So you head over
Men,
to the
women,
new Taco Bell.
children. They've all saturated. it.
Elected officials.
I love how poorly the crashed UFO is hidden. Like they put a couple of tarps over it, but you can still see most of the UFO. And there's a big crowd gathered outside because they have a lot of questions. Like, this seems awfully big for a Taco Bell, and they're like, "Well, yeah, it's going to be one of those large Taco Bells," and they keep asking, is this going to be a combination KFC, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell? And then cut to inside. We don't have a contingency for this question. I just need to know if there's quesarito or in quesadillas. What are going to be sold there, or if it's going to have the full menu, or it's just going to have the limited menu. And so they decide to just shoot him because they don't have
I
the
love
contingency.
that. They just shoot him in the head, and his wife doesn't understand what's going on. She's like, "Hello, are you
Yeah.
okay?"
And the rest of the crowd really doesn't respond to it at all.
Yeah, they just kind of disperse.
So you have to use your sneaky fart to get inside here. And
This is annoying.
Took me a couple of tries to figure out how to get them
Yeah,
both
it's dumb.
distracted.
Yeah, me too.
And once you're
You just have to,
inside,
push them over.
oh, I guess actually
With your
before that, Stan has joined my party because you do
Oh, yeah?
get
Best party member.
yeah,
Best
'cause
party member.
after
Yeah.
you get the goth clothes, Stan interrupts
Wow,
and is like,
somebody's
"Hey,
forgotten all about Kenny.
Yeah, you have to get the goth clothes and some coffee and cigarettes.
And some cigarettes, because you got to fight those fifth graders outside of Jimbo's for the cigarettes.
oh yeah, that was pretty fun."
Yeah.
And after you get the coffee, you are accosted by a group of elves who tell you, "Don't try to fight us. It's pointless to fight us at this time."
Yeah,
And
they're like, "There's
don't
no
do
reason
it.
to fight us at this point in the game. It's just a waste of time."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, okay." So they bring you to the Elf King, who turns out to
Jim,
be
did you fight them?
The fifth graders?
No, the elves.
elves when they say don't bother fighting us, it's pointless.
Oh, yes, I tried to. So most of the time I skipped it, but for the purposes of the show, I tried to fight them. And every time you beat one, because I beat a couple of them, they get revived. So
okay.
you're never going to win.
Right. So you head over to meet Kyle. He is the king
Elf King.
of he is the Elf King. Stan is his knight, I guess. His protector. And they're like, "Oh yeah,
Here's the
Cartman."
thing. My assumption, I don't think that says it in the game, but my assumption is that Kyle is the Elf King because Cartman refused to let him be a human because he's Jewish.
Maybe.
They kind of set Kyle up as kind of just the most level-headed out of everybody, though.
I
So it
thought that
kinda
they
makes
said.
sense.
I thought they treated Stan and Kyle like kind of the biggest assholes in the game for some reason.
Oh.
Like they're real jerks to you. They're not nice.
Well, they're upset that you've been working with Cartman.
yeah.
But
And
I
they're-
think they're pretty nice. They're like, "You've been misled. Cartman sucks."
He's been lying about the stick of truth, and he
Right,
stole
because
it.
Cartman says the elves have it, and they said, no, he has it, and he's trying to sow chaos. So side with us.
Yeah, they're like, I see good in. I like that whole Return of the Jedi. I see good in you. You can change your ways. Speech that they give you, and then you get a couple of side quests like destroy all the human banners because Cartman has been leaving these banners, pro-human banners around town, so you can go and destroy all those.
That's a really easy side quest.
There's another one where you can defeat the sister, the ogre.
Yeah, that's Stan's side. So like, if you want to, so like for the people that can be in your party, if you want to add them as friends on Facebook, you have to do their side quests. And so fighting Stan's sister because she stole his iPhone, that's his quest.
Yeah, so I did that one. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
Although I think I beat her in one shot because I used. It wasn't Mr.
No way!
Slave.
You beat her in one shot.
Yeah, because I used. You know which one I used? The Chinese buffet guy.
Oh, interesting. I you know what? I've played this game a handful of times. Never used a summon.
Oh
ever.
no, or maybe Jesus, because Jesus is great. He just comes down with an M16 from heaven and just does like 60,000 damage. Yeah. You get a one-hit kill.
I like that summon, but that whole thing is a throwback to their kind of pro-Iraq war episodes with like Jesus and Santa like having automatic weapons. Yeah,
I forgot about all that.
So it's a little weird.
Yeah. One thing I do like about all the summons, and also the Jesus side quest, which I finally did on your recommendation, is amazing to get the summon. Because he's hiding in the church and he's just going hee, and he like sees it. That was so good. Anyway,
when he had to turn the lights on him, that was good.
Yeah.
That's the second time. This first time you go in there, he's just hiding in the corner.
Yeah, he's in the pews.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a great summon. I use all the skills because I'm like, well, if a fight is slightly hard, I'll use like all my abilities and all my summons just to get through it. Because you get them refreshed once a day if you go back and talk to whoever gives you the summon.
Yeah. I like the whenever you get a new summon, when they talk about their rules, they're like, you can use me once a day, but not around bosses because they're scary.
But it's weird.
Yeah,
like some bosses work. Like I was using Jesus on She-Ogre and that was fine.
Well, there's like mini bosses I think you can use it on. Yeah, you can't use it on the main bosses.
Right.
But I was very happy to finally run into Stan and Kyle and get away from Cartman and his bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that, so they ask you to recruit the Goths to them instead. And I was like, okay, well, for the purpose of the podcast, has everyone sided with Stan, or has one of you sided with Cartman? It turns out no one has sided with Cartman, so I was like, all right. That's why I sent you photos.
Like, why would you? Because like the characters on Kyle's side are so much better.
Well, because I wanted to see what happened.
I love Butters. I think Butters is a fantastic companion.
I think Stan can hit an entire row. Stan can hit an entire row.
Because I chose them because I wanted to see the other side of the story. Although I don't think it actually it changes one mission basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But back to the military base anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So back to the military base. You sneak in to the military base and Stan's with you, and he's like, "I thought this. Oh, there's one thing I didn't understand. I closed the truck." I guess you're supposed to trap a guard in there because I don't know. I electrocuted the guard. I didn't trap him.
Oh, I trapped him.
You can trap them on the way out, can't you?
Oh, maybe. I didn't figure out how to use the truck. But you climb upstairs using the teleporter. No one comments on the fact that you can teleport, which I find interesting, and especially since you're teleporting them too. And you climb into the ducts around the military base, and then you oversee oversee a meeting of the military people, and they're talking about how they're going to have to destroy 3 blocks of South Park to contain the Nazi zombie problem, and everyone's like, "Oh, Nazi zombies, they're everywhere." Yep, I'm real sick of Nazi zombies. It seems like everything has Nazi zombies now. I like that joke. I thought that was pretty 2014 funny.
One thing I didn't appreciate about this part is that when you finally get into that like conference room where they talk about all the zombie stuff, you find an audio log or something, and it's like, don't you think there'd be something cooler in here? And all that's in there is like 2 potions.
Yeah,
like
that's
2
what
health drinks or
that's
something.
what Stan says. He's like, I thought there'd be more to this.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not. There's a voice recorder and a bunch of like bullshit like health things.
Yeah, it's
So they
small too.
One of the agents leave an incriminating tape recorder that does say their entire plan to destroy South Park because of the UFOs and the Nazi zombies. And he's like, I'll just leave this here on this table. I'll be back in a few minutes to pick it up and put it somewhere encrypted and secure. I thought that was cute. It was fun. So you go, well, the thing is that they brought out a Nazi zombie to show the problem. Unfortunately, they could not control the Nazi zombie, and it kills everybody inside the facility. And so you have to defeat the Nazi zombie and then take the voice recorder and then leave. And now everywhere is suddenly full of Nazi zombies.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's the rest of the game, right?
It's yeah, they're like constantly they're eating people in the backgrounds, and
There's a side quest that's dependent on fighting these, and it's the South Park detective guy. If you go talk to him inside the police station, he'll give you a side quest where you have to collect 5 Nazi rings, and you get them from fighting various like little Nazi parties throughout the town.
Ah, okay. It's a bit like the mayor one fighting homeless people.
It's pretty much the same thing.
Okay. So, now that you've got this evidence, you bring it back to Randy Marsh, and he plays a part of it, and he is horrified that they'll have to tear down so much of the town. He's like, this is bigger than we thought. This is going to be a really huge Taco Bell. And, and so then he takes a picture of you go back to the Goths and recruit them for one side or the other. And I recruited them for Cartman. And
Wow.
I've already asked. Everyone else recruited them for the elves.
That's what you get for playing the game last. You have to be the baddie.
It's true. I did have to side with that. And they do keep telling you, please don't do this, especially when you get to the school. So, what happened when you side with the elves? Since I didn't do this.
Jim,
Vanessa,
Jim.
Matthew.
When you invade the school?
Well, no. What
this.
happens? What leads to the school? Like, so when you give them the Goth, tell them that you're recruiting them for the elves. There's a cutscene, right?
Yeah.
What happens?
I know what happens. They say that they found out where the stick of truth is on Twitter, and then they're like,
Oh, right, a
You
Twitter
mean
Raven.
via
I like that. I
Messenger
kind of like the
Raven?
Twitter Raven
Yeah.
thing.
But Cartman apparently has been tweeting about where the stick of truth is, and it's in his desk at school.
Well,
So you
that
go
is
to the school.
exactly the same thing that happens if you side with Cartman, including the joke
Whoa.
about messenger ravens.
Wow.
Oh, wow, Twitter Ravens. Thank you.
Yeah.
So does he say that it's in his desk, though, or that the elves have it?
He says that the elves have it, and it's in Kyle's desk at school.
Well, of course
Wow.
it's Kyle, because he's Jewish.
And he's the elf king. So
True.
Cartman assembles everyone at the school in front. I took a nice screenshot of that. And you go inside the school. I did notice that there's lots of dead elf kids throughout the school. It seemed like there weren't very... I wonder if you side with the bad guy, it's a bit easier, maybe?
Oh, maybe. I didn't notice that many dead kids when I sided with the elves.
It seemed like a lot of rooms were empty and the enemies had already been defeated.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So then you over the PA system, Kyle and Stan keep telling you, "Hey, come on, don't side with Cartman. He's racist and awful. What are you doing? You know, I know there's still good in you. There's still a time for you to come to our side." All throughout.
When you're siding with the elves, Cartman's on the PA, and he keeps saying, "Hey, new kid, it's going to be so great when you betray the elves because you've actually
I
been
thought that
working for
was
me
funny.
all along."
That was good.
And his voice gets more and more nervous the closer you get. He's like, "Hey, you're doing a really good job pretending to be with them."
So you head to the basement, and one of the ginger school hall monitors is there, and he's got green goo coming out of his mouth, and he's like, "Hey, all the other hall monitors, we found this green goo, and they all changed, and I watched all my friends die and turn into horrible zombies," and then he turns into a horrible zombie. It was very spooky, so you did have to defeat him. There was also part of the the hunting quest here. I did find a big goo monster to fight, made out of bacteria.
Yeah, this is like when I was first playing this game, this was kind of the hardest one because it doesn't respond well to only physical attacks. It takes very minimal damage. But if you have the equipment patches on and you know how to do the spell stuff, it's pretty easy.
Or if you use a summon.
Yeah, it's very susceptible to like bleeding and maybe not gross out, but bleeding definitely.
I just put it on fire with my fire magic, and it went right away. I think maybe that's why I struggled with the aliens, because mage doesn't have a lot of shield breaking abilities. But my fire is out of control, amazing.
And
yeah,
Cartman...
well, it's weird how they did the statusing in this game, because bleeding and burning and
gross.
What?
Gross out?
And gross out are the ones that are persistent.
Yeah.
But like frost damage and a couple of the other ones are not. So
Yeah.
I don't know the reasoning behind that, but it's weird that they made those distinctions.
Well, yeah, because but there are certain ones are better against other enemies. Like one thing I found that my bleeding oriented character, because I got a whole bunch of new clothes starting this quest, I guess, like class related clothes that were all about stacking bleeding, but it didn't work against the zombies. Like they are immune to a lot of the status effects, and it was they were the hardest fights in the game for me, just because it took me a while to like get through their armor. I had to like switch to physical damage and armor.
Stack.
I don't know. It was normally the bleeding stacks, but I just had a hard time with the zombies where I had to switch up.
Well, the cold
how
you get chill, and that would I don't know that I think it's
bleeding stacks 5 up to 5 basically, so you can do a 5-time bleeding.
But like fire and burning and electricity, I think they all have a status effect. I don't think any of them.
Yeah, they all have different. Like freezing slows you, makes you miss a couple of turns, and stun does that too. But the zombies are resistant against some status effects. That's what I'm saying. So that was hard.
Yeah.
So you get. I went upstairs. I got through the lobby, and Stan was there with catapults, flinging fiery rubble at me. That was tricky. I had to go up and over.
Oh yeah, it was Butters for me. Did you get Stan's sword when you beat him?
Yes, that was pretty good.
I got Butters' hammer.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Stan has a great sword that you get. So you go upstairs.
Butters had a shitty hammer that I didn't use.
Aw, I used Stan's for a little while, but I got a better weapon pretty fast. I do like that you keep getting new weapons and armor. I think it's well balanced that you use the same one for maybe half hour and then get a new one. Anyway, so and whenever I was fighting humans, it was super easy because now I've got these knives I throw and they do multiple bleeding damage and it's random to all of them. And so I was getting through half of people's armor and stuff. Anyway, it was great. So, I defeated Stan there and then went upstairs to Kyle, and I see Kyle and Cartman there, and they're like, okay, you got to pick a side. I was like, I thought I already did pick a side. And Kyle's like, come on, just kick Cartman's ass. He's racist. He's a piece of shit. He constantly makes fun of me for being Jewish. And I was like, yeah, but, I got to see what happens. So I fought Kyle.
Wow.
And bleeding damage. Like I was doing a quarter of his life in bleeding damage per turn. So it was very easy. And I defeated Kyle, and Cartman was super happy to get, he looked at the desk where it was supposed to be. And what did it say on the desk? Because I'm sure. Oh, yeah. First, tell me what happens when you're going through the school fighting Butters and then Cartman.
I mean, it's all the exact same stuff, but it's Butters and Cartman.
Mm-hmm.
This was kind of the problem with the end of Fallout New Vegas. The one part I think is a little weak in that game is it's almost identical no matter what you do. And it's anyway, so Butters, Cartman, Stan, all that. What does it say on the desk? I can't remember. It says something very specific on Kyle's desk.
It says, look in my locker.
And whose locker was it? Clyde's?
Yes.
No, it was Kyle? Was it Clyde's
No,
locker?
it's Clyde.
No, it's Clyde. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
Clyde who
I
has
always get
been...
Clyde and Craig mixed up, but it's Clyde.
Yeah, it's Clyde who was banished from all space and time.
Mm-hmm.
And so you go and look in the locker, and...
I'm sorry, we should note that there's a really funny bit of, these desks don't have drawers. They're just like a flat board.
Oh, yeah, that is really...
That
that
made
was
me
a really
laugh.
funny reveal, yeah.
So you go look in Clyde's locker, and there's a message from Clyde saying that he has been the one who took the stick of truth all along. He pitted you against each other, and now he is the king of the universe. He controls everything because he controls the stick of truth.
Oh, right, because there's a laptop in there, and you see he connects to you.
Yeah.
And that's where you see him doing the experiments on the cat, turning the dead cat into a
Yes,
nasty
he's
cat.
like, I'm going to raise an evil army, and I strip both the human king and the elf king of their authority. And then it's late, so we head home to Betty Bye.
Well,
And I
no,
think
first
that's-
you go to fight him.
Oh, that's
and
right.
then he has a gajillion people in his treehouse,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, and then he's like, "Oh, it's too late," and you, I think you, or not you, but Cartman or Kyle's like, "Why is it too late?" And then that's right when everyone's like, "It's bedtime. You got to get home."
Yeah. Their parents are like, bedtime. And they're like, oh, it's too late to fight him. So, yep, then you head home to bed. And I do think this is where we should end off for
That's fine.
this episode.
Yeah, Matt can experience the delight of this next chunker for himself.
We're tucked in
Question
our
mark?
little bed.
I'm halfway through the third day.
We hear the teeny tiny patter of little feet. Dun dun dun. Are there any sad quests you want to talk about?
Clearly, there are.
I talked about finding Jesus. That was great.
That's the best one in the game.
Yeah, that was really fun. And the hide and seek. I still have one more
The hide and
kid
seek's
to
fun.
find.
Yeah, me too.
How do you get to there in the big or not? One of the side quests is about finding songs for Jimmy, and you got to go find the rancher. But I couldn't find the rancher. I don't have a key to his.
I think you have to
barn.
get the key to the barn. Yeah, I don't know where you get it.
Untrue. You just have to have Jimmy in your party.
Oh,
Just go to the farm with him in your party, and that will launch that.
Okay, that makes
Thank
sense.
you for that
And
information.
the big game hunting also has one. I think it's the blood-sucking fruit bat is underground. Maybe the so I do have to. Underground's a
that
whole
one.
big maze, and I did run into Mr. Hanky and his
Yeah,
wife.
Mr.
and
Hankey's down there.
I couldn't stop laughing at that cutscene, and I know it's bad. That cutscene
Which
just
one?
killed me.
When Mr. Hankey's wife is like high on Vicodin and alcohol, Johnny was losing his mind. He loved it.
Yup.
God, that is. Mr. Hanky was a pretty funny joke, and then they went and ruined it with all this shit. And John is sitting here just loving it.
I don't know.
You know what Mr.
There's
Hanky
something...
needed? Some misogyny. You know what was funny about Mr. Hanky? The way he hates his wife.
But he doesn't hate his... I don't know.
Such
it's
a
just...
fucking Gen X joke. Fucking boomer humor. Boom!
I don't know why I liked it.
Yeah.
I think it was just Mr. Hanky just being like, okay, dear, don't worry about it. I think it's that he was being so, like, you know, gentle with his wife, and then until they start screaming at each other. I don't know. It really worked for me, and I understand why it shouldn't have, but sometimes I have a bad taste in comedy.
I understand you think heterosexual love is funny.
That's what I think
Problematic.
all straight relationships are like.
It is. 100% true.
All right, so that's it. Where are we playing to next time on Square Roots?
We're finishing the game. We're freaking done with this thing. It's so short.
Oh boy.
Next episode we'll announce the winner of the
Wait,
poll.
we were gonna do the dome thing, right?
We decided not to.
Oh, okay.
The one
Vanessa
bullshit.
bullied us into not doing it.
The one bullshit.
Anyway, the one bullshit minigame
was the Goth DDR section, and that was great. You smoke, you have some coffee, you just smoke more,
yeah.
you pose. It's all
Do you like
DDR
little
style.
dances, which is like swaying in time with drinking
Yeah,
your coffee
they're like
and
dance
smoking?
like a goth. I thought for a
That-
moment I would have to like fail this on purpose because dancing goth is like not doing the moves and not conforming, but that's not true. You just have to do
No,
the
that's
DDR
not how
moves.
it is at all.
I thought it was fun, and that's it. Vanessa,
I think they should have made that game like you could come back to it and do it again.
what are
'Cause
you
it's very
roundly
satisfying,
for
yeah.
or squarely against? Vanessa.
I am squarely against non-consensual anal penetration. I know that's a hot take. Probably going to get some letters from listeners, but that's
You'll
how I
definitely
feel.
get canceled for that. Yeah.
Jim,
I will say that I am roundly for the anal penetration jokes. I think they're funny, and I like the deliberate failure of the mini games on the spaceship. I think that's pretty funny. Matt hates this whole game, so
Yeah. And as for me, you'll see. Slam your body down the party. No. As for me, I am very pro Mr. Hanky's terrible heterosexual relationship.
oh my gosh, that's kind of sad to me.
It was so just out of left. I don't know. There's something very random and sad. Like it was such a strange thing to put in your game.
It I don't know much about
Heterosexuality.
Trey Parker and Matt Stone's personal lives, but this feels like a very specific like ex-wife thing to me. Like the way Mr. Hanky chastises his wife for drinking and not knowing where their kids are. I don't know, man. It felt weirdly specific to me.
I know a little bit. I know that one of them has 0 ex-wives and one of them has 2 ex-wives. So take that as you will.
Yeah, I think this chunker worked better for me. Maybe watching some good South Park episodes in the interim between the last recording and this one helped.
Oh, you know one thing that I noticed recently?
What?
Like, after we did our favorites bonus, I went back and watched the homeless episode. And because, like, I kind of like that episode. I don't like that it's about homeless, but it's a funny kind of zombie, like, satire. But in the end credits of that episode, when Cartman is ramping homeless in California, the background music talks about there being so many homeless outside of Matt Stone's house. And it felt so gross.
That's weird.
It is weird. The fact that they named one of the creators in a background song about homeless being an inconvenience, it was very gross.
Yeah.
And hey, homeless people are literally the most vulnerable people in our society. And I think
They're just
insane.
people.
Yeah, they're just people, and they've been mistreated. And they I know lots of people who work with homeless people, and basically all they're saying is they are treated like shit by literally everyone. And I just think,
Yeah.
I understand that this show is all about making the jokes that you can't say, but you think it or whatever. But like that, this sort of
But
talk.
that song made it seem like they weren't just like having fun, that they were deliberately out to get homeless people, and that sucked.
Well, like what Joe Rogan 2 weeks ago on his podcast said, that people should go around shooting homeless people. And guess what happened? Someone in my neighborhood went around shooting homeless people.
Yeah, that's fucked up, dude.
Like a week ago. Right when I was walking outside.
Don't dehumanize homeless people. That's the worst.
I understand. Well, it's one of those things. And I think that's like what I talked about in the bonus episode. South Park jokes are funny until they happen to you, basically. Until it's something that you actually do care
totally.
about. And
go back and watch the episode and listen to that really shitty song about Matt, like, oh, the homeless in front of Matt's house. Oh, that's so funny. No, it's really gross.
Yeah. Anyway, not to be too much of a downer, let's talk about the Patreon. Yay! If you want to hear that South Park bonus episode, you can give $3 a month to our Patreon, and you'll get every single bonus episode we ever did. I think the South Park one's a lot of fun. We are surprisingly positive and fair because we're talking about our very favorite episodes of South Park. This month will be Beyond Two Souls, Elliot Page and Willem Dafoe thriller.
Oh,
that
man,
goes
I
in
had to
some
finish that game.
unexpectedly
Me too.
racist directions about 2/3 of the way through that I can't wait to talk about. Oh boy, is what I have to say about that. And for $5 a month, you can vote like on the vote that's happening right now for the next game we're going to play. And it's going to be another short series. I think all of them are going to be 3 episodes, probably 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah.
So, vote on adventure games.
I like
Check
that, though.
out the
I like
list.
that we're putting so many votes in the last half of the year.
I think it's great. I don't mind doing some short. Although if we do a JRPG next, that's going to, like, Okami's 50 hours, too, if we did Okami.
I kind of think Dungeon Crawler or... Maybe
It has to be a story heavy. It has to be a
see.
story heavy dungeon crawler. That's the only
Colors
thing.
are so boring. Mash, 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 button, mash, mash. Blah.
Yeah, true.
We'll figure out something. But for now, adventure games. Check it out. And no matter what you donate, we really appreciate it. And we also try to thank every single Patreon we have. Even if we can't get to them every episode, we do get you eventually.
We get to
So why
some
don't we
every
start?
episode.
Vanessa, why don't you...
Oh, wait.
Jim, why don't you start?
I'll go first. Sure. Vanessa for president. Grayson. Robert T. Joshua W. Broxson. Dovahkiin's Discount Dragon Barn. Hudson Roth. Paul Bursch. Jackie Daytona. Love that. Kingdom Hearts 3. I've never felt so smooth. Tyler and Eric Pitkameni.
And I would like to thank Esteban Gonzalez, Dylan Rowe, Chris Penyak, Ina Mazzini, Isaac Wright. I'm Hawk's mom, and this is my favorite podcast in Kirkwall, Matt Jorgensen, Ross Hartley, Jack Mizell, Nick, and Frogstong.
Hello, I'm Mr. Bean, and I'd like to thank William Westcott, Johnny's Pete impression, Coke Zorro, Aiden Merritt, Ward Childress, DJ Ethro likes big boats, they cannot lie. Alexander Jokic, Teen Wolfhard Bumpkins, 69 Love Songs, CharityWater.org, and David Arnold.
I would like to thank Christian Go. Chief Hazard built a sentient ghost ice cream truck that haunts the square roots host.
Oh, no.
And Stephen Paget, Mike Klein, Kodab Games, Kodab or Kodab? Kodab Games, Wash in the Wind, Kristen Ingram, Metal Gear Solid 2 in 2022, Eduardo Franco, Vanessa's Gold Taco Bell PS5, and Butts on Parade. All right, everyone, that's it for this episode of Square Roots. if you'd like, did you guys read the email?
We got
No.
a really good email. I don't really know how to summarize it in a insightful way, but
We can save it till next week.
yeah, but
You know what? Next week we'll have a fantastic email. It's honestly probably one of the better ones we've gotten over the course of the show.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
I want to hear
and
this
it's
email.
from someone called Eric.
Yeah, it's a great episode. John, you should check it out on the inbox. But that's it for this episode of Square Roots. If you'd like to have an email read on the air, we are at squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. Come see us at our Facebook group, the Square Roots Podcast Group, for smart, cool, very attractive people, or on Twitter at Square Roots Pod.
We also love it if you subscribe to our podcast on all the services. Just download it as many places as you can so we get all the clicks and votes. And steal people's phones and subscribe to it on their phones. They love it. And you can do
Subscribe
that,
to the Patreon on their phones.
and then review it on iTunes, review it on Ghana, or wherever you listen to podcasts, like Spotify too. Thanks to Stephen Morris for our Square Roots theme. You can find Stephen on Twitter as Beige on Beige, and on YouTube. Links in the show notes. And Vanessa.
If you're listening on Spotify and you want even more Square Roots than is available on the Spotify platform, look for our Square Roots episodes somewhere else, like our RSS feed or Libsyn or wherever you listen to podcasts. Do yourself a little Google at Square Roots Podcast. It'll be there.
All right, for Square Roots, I am Jim Banks.
I'll
Aye.
cut the part where Jim suggested we commit fraud.
Did we? Where?
He did.
Oh, okay.
I did.
I'm Matthew Van Zant.
And
I'm Johnny Brandon.
Oh.
Wow. You guys are fucking bad at this.
Well, you screwed us up by leaving.
You know what's weird is we've never done this before. Yeah. This is our first time doing this. It's
This is our
fine.
first podcast episode, and I think for our first time we did pretty well.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
I'm Vanessa.
Yeah. I'm Vanessa. Vanessa's here. Vanessa's gonna make it clear she doesn't have time for racists and transphobes. She doesn't have time for people with earlobes.